All right, we're just gonna jump into it. Shell shock, battle fatigue, post traumatic stress disorder. These are all things that most folks in the military and other forms of high stress environments understand. And I'm going to talk about that as it pertains to the 4th of July. This might be controversial. Actually, no, it shouldn't be controversial once you hear what I have to say. I'm going to tell you a story. All right. And this is a real story that happened. People can corroborate it because people were there with me. I've been to Iraq more than a few times as a contractor. Actually, the funny thing is, I'm a U.S. Marine because there is no former Marine. We're always a Marine unless you fucked up and they sent you on your way before you got your DD-214, in which case then you can call yourself an ex-Marine. But I'll be always a Marine. But I actually didn't go to Iraq as a Marine. I went to Iraq as a contractor after I got out of the Marine Corps. That's kind of a more, I guess, longer story to talk about why that happened, but that's for a whole nother talk. For this, I'll just talk about when I was a contractor when I went over to Iraq. So yeah, I went to Iraq a couple of times, and I was usually stationed in the VBC, which is called the Victory Base Complex. And I went to other places too. Like when I was based in the VBC, I would travel around all of Iraq, and I would install. I'm a computer nerd, even as a Marine. I was a computer nerd, and I went around to install their storage area networks and their VMware environments. And for me, it was a lot of fun. It was cool. I got to fly on a bunch of Blackhawks. I got to go on convoys. I got to install stuff in really interesting places that are traditionally difficult for most people to do. But I was a Marine, so it was fun for me. It was cool. But obviously, there was times where my life was put in danger. I've been shot at before. I've had a lot of close calls, and I will tell you about the most serious close call that I've ever had in my entire life. So probably the third time I went to Iraq for like a semi-long spurt, even though it ended up not being that long because I didn't like the contract, but I went there and it was in the same spot I had been literally 4 months prior. And that's a whole other story. But I was going there for a different gig because I had gotten laid off by a company on a 2-day notice. So it was pretty messed up. So I went there and I was talking to my friend Ryan. I won't say his last name. He knows what I'm talking about if he listens to this. Good dude. And where my data center was, it was in a spot to where it had like a blast cover, right? So it was basically a safe spot. But where my friend Ryan was working and where I used to work was literally like it was kind of like a trailer away from where I used to work, was where he worked. And we were sitting, it was my second day back in Iraq, and we're sitting there talking, just catching up because we haven't seen each other for a while. And I was actually staying in his trailer. If you guys hear the bomb, see, I already fucked up. This is the problem. That's what's happening to me right now, and this is why I'm talking about it, because all these fireworks that are going off are fucking with me, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why through this story, and I think a lot of vets will probably understand this. So anyway, second night back, coming back to Iraq after a while, and I was talking to my friend Ryan, and we're in an uncovered spot, and we're in a spot where normally, like the previous stints that I did in Iraq, my previous contracts, were usually not in danger in that one spot. Usually mortars will go over us or hit short of us. So it's fine. I mean, it sucked for wherever it hit, obviously, but when you are in a war zone like that, you tend to compartmentalize like danger. And so if it hits before you or after you, you compartmentalize. It wasn't me, so likely it won't be me. Anyway, second day I'm back. We're sitting there and the incoming alarm goes off. And we hear it, and we're just like, all right, well, we've heard it before. Usually it's not going to hit anywhere near us. And the alarm goes off, and we hear a boom in the background. It's like, all right, well, that's normal. Like, you usually hear it. You usually don't feel it, though. And it's usually not close enough. Then all of a sudden, bam, a little closer. You can kind of feel the vibrations in the ground. We're like, oh. Well, it's still not close enough. You know, we'll probably be okay. Then all of a sudden, BAM! Real close to us. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, we need to get out of this building right now, run for cover. So we both run out. I think Ryan gets out first, and he's running for cover. And he's running, and at the time I was overweight, and I was still running. I was still sprinting where I had to be, sprinting to where I had to be. So I'm trying to get there, and I'm running, and I look up, and I literally see my death coming. Like it was either a rocket or a mortar. I look up, I'm just like, well, fuck, I guess that's it. I got full life insurance. Kid and wife at the time, they're gonna be okay. I'm probably gonna die because I'm looking at it and it's coming, and there's shit I can do about it. As it's coming in, a CRAM intercepts the rocket or mortar and blows it out of the sky. The CRAM, for anybody that is not familiar with the military, it's basically a big ass Gatling gun that shoots depleted uranium rounds, and it's on a very sophisticated tracking system, so it can see incoming coming, and it can intercept them with bullets, like a shitload of bullets. And I literally watched the CRAM blow this thing out of the sky. I was like, holy shit, that thing saved my life. I was like, wow. Like, seriously. I mean, I made it to where I had to go, but afterwards I was like, damn, my life got saved by software and bullets. Most people on this earth can't really say that. So for me, that was like, I tried to like downplay it. It's like, yeah, I survived. I'm here today. I'm glad to be with my family. But that was like a significant part of my life, is like having my life saved by software and bullets. So I'll bring it back to today with 4th of July. I think that most people in America, this is part of like the weird part of America, because I think most Americans, they just don't give a fuck about the plight of people that go and fight for them in wars. Even if it inconveniences them, just even a small little bit, they just don't give a shit. When 4th of July happens, I think most vets are okay with 4th of July. We all know that we're going to hear sounds that are difficult to hear, and we're not going to like it, but it's part of Independence Day, and we're Americans, so we're just going to suck it up. You get a straw and suck it up. That's what we're used to doing. Most people in our military careers, you just fucking suck it up, but now, especially, Jesus Christ, since the Rona happened, I've been listening to these fucking fireworks go off for the past at least 2 months now. And the problem is that when most, at least for me, I can't speak for all vets, but I would venture to say most vets, when you hear a firework or a mortar go off in the sky, you don't know immediately if it's a fucking bullet or a bomb or what the fuck is going on. So your brain clicks, and you're like, you go into like fight or flight, and you don't know like what the fuck just happened. And most Americans they don't give a fuck about that. Meanwhile, they're screaming, "Yeah, America, fuck yeah!" Meanwhile, you are literally, you're putting the people that fought for your freedom into a dark place for like a fraction of a second. And I wasn't a grunt. I was a fucking pogue. I was a computer guy. But yeah, I still got shot at, and I still got fucking, mortared at and rocketed at and all this fucking other bullshit, what happens to like actual grunts? I mean, it's probably like what I'm going through, like times 10, because I feel for those guys too. Like when I talk about my military career of being a pogue, a personnel other than grunt, for you folks that would never serve in the military, like my job was always to support the grunts. And I think that some pogues, they get mad about that, but that's what our job was. We supported the grunts. Like my job was to, as a data guy or a network security guy, was to, get you the data that you needed to kill somebody better. And I got no problem with that. I don't feel bad about that. Yeah, I know how to shoot, but the job that I did was a supporting role. There's nothing wrong with that, to me. If you want to talk shit about it, whatever. I don't really. It doesn't bother me at all. So. But just recognize, everybody that's out there, that when you're shooting off all these fireworks and all this other bullshit, for months, you are really affecting people around you You know, it's not even just people. Fucking dogs. They happen to them too. I mean, like dogs don't know know what the fuck is going on. We, you know, popping all these things off. It's just like, listen, you get one day. That's the way it should be. And that's one day of torture for a lot of fucking people. So recognize that too. It's literally torturous for like a lot of people out there. Because, yeah, like I wake up like losing my breath, breathing so hard when this shit's going off. You know, I'm trying to like enjoy myself watching a movie, and then I hear fucking fireworks go off, and it's like, is it a fucking bullet? I don't fucking know. And it's like, hey, you're back in America. It's probably okay. But maybe it's not, especially right now because of all this civil unrest. So it's just that weird part of this weird dichotomy of America where they think that, you know, a lot of Americans think that they're patriots, but they're really not. You know, if you're being patriotic, you know, why don't you support the people that fought for your actual freedom and recognize that what you're doing is damaging them? Like, seriously. And most vets that you will talk to will just play it off, be like, oh, you know, it's not a big deal, you know. And, I mean, it's not, but it is. Like, it is a big deal, especially when it goes on for... It's not for a day. For a day, yeah. For a day, most people can suck that shit up. When it goes on for, like, literally... It's been literally more than a month that I've been hearing fireworks go off. Like, as I was talking on this rant about fireworks, there's been multiple fireworks that went off. And that's probably one of the reasons why I paused in part of my rant, because I heard the fucking firework go off. You know, and it's a natural thing to do. So when people talk about, you know... I don't like calling post-traumatic stress disorder, because I don't believe that any single human being on this planet should go through what I went through, or what any grunt went through, or anybody that went to war went through, to come out of that and act normally. You have post-traumatic stress. It's not a fucking disorder. No human being on this planet should go through that and be like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine. Like, that to me, that's fucking weird as shit. Like, if you think that you're fine after seeing what I've seen, or going through what I went through, you're not a stronger human than me. There's something fucking wrong with you. Like, seriously, there's something wrong with you. And I think that most Americans should recognize that, but they're used to this, you know, this Hollywood version of people that served in the military, or, you know, but it's also weird because, you know, most folks in the military, and I'll be totally honest, I mean, we put off this tough guy persona, and yeah, I'm tough as shit, you know. I still train to this, well, until the Rona hit, I was training to this day, you know, to defend myself and do whatever. But, you know, these fireworks going off all the time, they fuck people up. So, and in my case, for like some people, it's probably likely very fucking mild. I know people that are probably crying in corners or just turning music up all night to drown out these sounds. And those are the people that I'm worried about. You know, people that have to go through this shit, people that have paid their dues to this country, and then realizing that people in this country don't really give a fuck to just keep fireworks to one goddamn day. Is it that hard to keep fireworks to one day? I mean, seriously. Just to alleviate some pain from people that fought for this country. I don't think that's too much to ask, you know. But apparently it is, and I'm going to keep going through it. And it's this what I'm talking about is probably not even going to fucking go anywhere. But I think that I need to just come out and talk about it, because I think a lot of vets, they don't talk about it because we all try to be tough, which we are. You know, we're all pretty tough. We all went through a lot of shit. But I think that when it comes to patriotism, most Americans, they don't even understand what the fuck being a patriot is. You know, they let a lot of stuff slide under the guise of patriotism, and they don't get it. So just try to understand. Just feel for people that are going through this right now, through these difficult times of dealing with this is fucking minor as shit at this point in time. Fireworks. Most people are just like, what's wrong with fireworks? But yeah, listen, if you went to sleep listening to fucking bullets fly, you know, every other night, or listen to mortars drop, you know, at least 5 times a month, or probably even, well, for me, it was even more than that. If you heard all that shit and when you go into bed and you don't know if you're going to wake up in the morning, like, how would you feel? Seriously, how would you feel? Would you be normal after that? We had to stay there for a year at a time, getting shot at and hearing bombs in the background all the time. Would you be normal? I'm not. Maybe you're stronger than me. But if you never went through it and you think you are, I can guarantee you you're not. You didn't go through a fraction of what I went through, or other members of the armed forces. So, yeah, just try and be considerate. I just ask that you keep fireworks to just one day. It's one day of inconvenience to people that have post-traumatic stress. It's a very small ask. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'll keep this one short. Be decent to each other, including me and other vets. Be decent to us, okay? Have some human decency. All right, with that, I'm out.